On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony breaks his deal with the devil, and Ethan once again embraces his destiny. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up, sir?
Sauce.
Let's try that again.
Yeah, trying to. Saw Shazam yesterday.
Okay.
Wow. Words.
How was it?
It was good. Best part was I only spent $4.
Nice.
Yeah, won 3 movie tickets, so all I did was buy a drink, and that was it.
There you go. It is that is one of those movies that is right up on the top of my list of things to watch. I'll wait for it to come to streaming services, but I will be watching that as soon as I can.
Oh, I'm sure you and the kids will enjoy watching that one.
I want more fun superhero movies, and that looks like a fun superhero movie.
That is exactly what it is. Just, it's fun. It's got like just the right amount of drama for the plot to exist for. And then it's just, here's your shenanigans, and then superhero stuff.
And it doesn't have Robert Pattinson.
Who?
I don't know. Some dude. He's a vampire. Or a wizard. I'm not sure which.
Now I'm curious what you're talking about.
Robert Pattinson is expected to be Batman. He was in Twilight.
Oh, Oh, that makes so much more sense now.
That's why I commented earlier about bedazzling the Batsuit.
Yes. Well, you know the guy that played the werewolf in those movies was Shark.
He was Shark Boy.
Yeah. I mean, the dude got ripped.
Yeah.
Not even make fun of him for that. I mean, he got the money from the movie, got a personal trainer. Was like, let's do this.
He actually wanted to be a werewolf, I think, is what.
He wanted to be able to punch a werewolf and then beat up vampires. They said, we need you to be a vampire or a werewolf that beats up vampires. And he's like, all right, I'll do it.
I gotta get jacked for that. Let's do this.
And then they went and made another Underworld movie. They forgot to give him a call, and so they're like, hey, Twilight's over here. It's got vampires and werewolves. And he's like, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. True story.
And then he started
ask the internet. Ethan said so.
He started a movie with Adam Sandler after that, which was which I actually thought was funny. Okay, The Ridiculous Six, I thought was a funny movie.
I think it was you're talking about that Netflix movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Ridiculous Six or
Ridiculous Six? Yeah.
Let's see, wasn't it something 7, not 6?
I thought it was The Ridiculous Six. Yeah, it was Ridiculous Six.
Netflix movie.
Yep. Starring Adam Sandler and
Ridiculous Six. Okay, yeah, you win this time.
All of his friends.
That was. I actually enjoyed that movie. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was the 6 half brothers were Adam Sandler, Terry Crews, Taylor Lautner, Rob Schneider, Luke Wilson, and
that's just the
else.
ones you know of.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was a not a great movie, but I had fun watching it.
It's one of those where if you watch it with friends, it's going to be better.
Exactly.
But I mean, that show hasn't been on the air in years, so good luck watching that movie while that show's on.
Yeah. So, well, I talked about you embracing your destiny. I'm assuming that means you played Destiny this week.
I played all the Destiny this week.
Yeah, you apparently are very good at the stuff you played, too. That's what you told me.
I'm the best at what I do, and what I do is rule the Crucible. For those who don't know, Crucible is Destiny 2, is the Destiny PvP stuff, and that is where he just puts Guardian versus Guardian, and it's generally not a fun time for, in my opinion, but they have a lot of people who enjoy that, and then there's those who uh, hate it like me that would just rather avoid it altogether. But the developers keep making specific missions require you to go and do this PvP stuff. So I had to do all this because there was a bunch of exotic weapons and missions locked behind doing Crucible content, and a lot of it's based around doing fights in Crucible, again getting so many kills on like the Hunter class, the Warlock class, and then the Titan class.
Yeah.
And that's gathering specific materials from these people that you're fighting. Others are get so many wins, do this. It just varies from each one, really.
It's standard PvP stuff, really.
Yeah, and I started out in there, and it's like, all right, well, I don't want to do this, but the worst that can happen is I lose and get mad and quit. And I lost a few rounds here and there, but I kept chugging along. And then I kind of noticed my KD, kill death ratio, was extremely high. I finished one round, I had a 14.0. So that's extremely good. And one of the times I had a 9.0, I actually managed to get a screenshot of that one when I was paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sent me that screenshot, and you were like, "I am a lot better at this than I thought I was."
It's kind of crazy. I didn't expect it. One of the weapons I got on there was Thorn. That's a weapon in Destiny 1 where I mostly refuse to do any Crucible at all. And that was the weapon locked behind that content. And it's quest based, so I started the quest, got so far into it, then it says you gotta do Crucible and do all these stupid goals, and I'm not having it, so I'm like, nope, never doing this again. And then they updated the game, this is back in year 1 of Destiny 1. They updated the content, and somehow that got rid of part of that quest step because they weren't doing that weapon anymore.
Yeah.
So I couldn't continue, but you can't restart the quest steps either. So they just said, here, you can have the weapon. So I had the year 1, but it was useless because everything year 2 and up was higher and better. So here we are in Destiny 2. What is this, year 2 already? I don't know how long it's been
at
now,
least.
but anyway, here we are, like a good deal into Destiny 2. And I have a mission for that. I have a mission for several others. And alright, I might as well do this. Got into there, got the weapon. It's so much nicer than the first game. And I feel pretty awesome using it because it's like I've earned this for once. My next goal on there is to start doing the Gambit stuff, which is a combination of PvE and PvP. And I don't look forward to that because it takes me a moment to adjust to fighting human players versus fighting computer AI.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm having to switch modes on the fly and try to figure it out, and it doesn't work that well, but I'll figure it out. One of the annoying problems was having to do a bunch of kills in Crucible using void weapons or something. It's like you have to start getting kills, but if you get killed, you lose like double credit or something on there. It counts backwards.
Wow.
So it's like I had to use a hand cannon, had to use void. So either one of those counts. So you combine the two together, you have a void handgun. So go through there, that doubles up right there. And then if you're doing it whenever they're doing one of the special events like Iron Banner, that just happened to be this week. that counted for way more extra on there. And I hadn't done Iron Banner since the first season on Destiny 2, which I said, this is garbage. I'm never doing this again. That's when I was completely sick of Crucible. Because Iron Banner is a special version that everyone's going to want to do. That was back during, I want to say it was still 4v4 before they changed it to 6v6, and the game modes are just a broken mess, in my opinion, back then. But just going through there, wrecking everything, it's kind of amazing, and I didn't think I had that much skill.
You've found a PvP experience that you actually like.
I know, it's crazy. I might try it on other stuff now too.
Yeah. Well, it's like with me, it was Fortnite got me into PvP for a little while in that style, but Paladins is the game that really was the PvP experience I really liked. I found a couple of characters in there that I was really good with that didn't necessarily have to rely specifically on killing the other players. I could be a support character that I really felt like I was doing something if I had teammates who were playing, fairly coherently.
Yeah, and that is a major part of what I always have problems finding in Destiny, because most of the time, if I'm wanting to do that stuff, I'm gonna team up with Stuart and Cole or Jason or whoever is on my friends list.
Yeah.
And they're not always on, and I might be, well, Cole's always on there. Who am I kidding? But I mean, if they're busy, it's like, well, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna do this by myself, as I always hated teaming up with the random people on there, because not everyone is helpful. You get into a party, and then you have a person that just stands there the whole time not helping you, and it's just, well, I guess we're going at this one man short while he stands there helping the other team doing nothing.
Yeah, and it's the reason I really, really like Splatoon. I love Nintendo's take on a shooter because it's not built. The core concept of the game isn't built around shooting the other players. That's sort of secondary to the main objective of the game.
Right, but even Splatoon has the same issues that Destiny 2 would have. Take, for instance, what I just said with the person standing there not doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You would have the person running around literally just playing in Splatoon, and I've seen that a few times where it's like, all right, I'm gonna spray a puddle here, and then I'm just gonna morph in and out of that puddle, playing around, hopping around in that little area. Yeah. It's like, all right, this is my corner of the map now, and you see them doing that. And it's just, why are they not helping?
Yeah, well, you're gonna get that in any game.
Speaking of getting that in any game, I am so happy with my experience, because it looks like no one's going around just constantly doing the emotes or harassing the other teams anymore. Really, it's still there, but just not as strong as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't help feel that Fortnite might be responsible, because they've all moved on over to that, so they can just emote like crazy over there with whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, I'm playing Destiny. I'm having a good time because I'm not getting made fun of if I'm getting killed by someone who's either better than me or worse than me, and it's very nice.
Yeah, you're playing now with the people that really like Destiny.
Yeah. And then I actually go into a game with Cole, and then it's just, okay, he's one of those guys that's going to emote every time. At least he's on my team. Now, I said the same thing to him about that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I won't bore you with any more Destiny talk there, but that is that I actually had fun with a PvP in the game for once, so yeah.
Nice. Well, let's see. I played a little bit of Tetris 99 today. I'm just going to talk briefly about that because their third little tournament thing is going on. I don't remember what they call it, Tetris Maximus or something like that.
I saw the name and I did not remember it.
It's something to that effect. I don't think that's exactly it. But with this one, they're giving away a free skin basically for the game.
Oh, the Game Boy skin.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and all you have to do is get 100 points, 100 event points in that, and it takes about an hour to an hour and a half probably. I played for 45 minutes today, and I got to 80 points. So I'm very, very close to finishing it, and then by the time people hear this, it'll be over because it ends on Sunday night. But I'll have earned that Game Boy skin for Tetris 99. But I love playing that game. It is a really, really nice multiplayer version of Tetris.
I would hate to get into a match with people that are Grandmaster level.
Yeah, I've seen some high level play from people with that, and it is insane the stuff that they're doing, and I can't do that. I'm finishing regularly in somewhere between the top 30 to top 50. I'm not great at the game, and you really have to be good at Tetris to get into the higher rankings. It's not like Fortnite where I can hide in a bush for 45 minutes while everybody else shoots everybody and I can finish in the top 2 or 3. But the other thing that I wanted to mention briefly is I finished Cuphead this week. I saw credits.
Cuphead credits earned.
Cuphead credits. I actually saw Cuphead credits twice because we got both endings.
Cool.
Jake and I have been playing through that game co-op, and I think I had gotten probably 2/3 of the way through the game last week. We finished it this week playing every night. We got to the devil, tried to beat him a few times, and just couldn't do it. It was getting later in the evening, so we tried a run through 2 or 3 times and then stopped. And I said, okay, well, let's just see what happens if we go and get the bad ending, because I found out you can get both endings on the same run through.
Yeah.
So we went back, got the bad ending, gave the devil the contracts, and it showed us joining the devil, and Cuphead and Mugman were evil. And credits do roll after that. So
exactly.
And then there's a nice little Easter egg on the main menu, which I thought was a clever little trick with the music. We actually took a break for just a few minutes, and later that same night came back, and on our second run through, I think it was our second run through against the devil, we actually ended up beating him.
Good.
And I jumped up off the couch, fist in the air, and
punched
shouted,
the ceiling
yes,
light.
yes, because we beat the devil. And he has actually now gone back and in just 2 days completed a 97% solo run through the game.
Are y'all going to go back and do the pacifist shooter levels?
I saw we need to. I don't know, man. Those are hard.
It really doesn't add much. They're really not that hard. I'd maybe watch a YouTube video.
I've watched a run through of a couple of the pacifist levels, and I've seen some of the tricks you need to do to get through them.
It's not so much that you need tricks as much as like have the right skill and do the right teamwork. You'll be through there just fine.
Yeah. And I know what it unlocks, and I'd like to see that and play through that, but I don't know if I'm going to go back through and do the pacifist run. I don't want to spend that much time. It's not worth it for that one little bonus, but we'll see. But yeah, definitely, that is without a doubt the game that I would put at the top of my favorite games of the year so far list.
Did they ever confirm if that DLC that's coming out is going to make it 3-player or still 2-player?
I don't know. That's one of the things that he and I were talking about this week, because he asked about that. Is that going to make it a 3-player game, or is it just going to still be 2-player? And the answer to that is I have no idea. I've not really seen any of the details of what is supposed to be in that, aside from that third playable character.
And it's kind of crazy that they would just go for a 3-player game instead of a 4-player version, if they would even do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 4 players it would just be so chaotic. There would be so much going on the screen. that 4 players might not be worth the trouble. But I just don't know.
Maybe that's why they're going with thinking maybe 3 or something. I don't know. Just to cut the chaos down.
But yeah, that game is so good. So good. Everything about it, the music, the visuals, the gameplay mechanics. I don't think I could. There's not one thing in that game that I could say negative about it. Fantastic experience from start to finish.
Awesome.
And I was worried that it was going to be one of those games that I'd start to play and I'd get 2 or 3 levels in and then the difficulty spike would just hit and I'd be like, okay, I'm done and this is not fun anymore. And that just was never the case. Not once did I ever have a moment of pure frustration and just want to quit playing the game. So definitely, I recommend this game to everybody. I don't care who you are. You should play this game. And then listen to the music. And then I would love to see like a Cuphead mini series or something, but I don't know that they'd ever do something like that. Like this, the art style, just the way they do it, it would take forever to make a show like that. But I'd love to see it.
Just doing an OVA 30 minutes would probably be fairly expensive to be done.
Oh, I'm sure it would.
I mean, that's all hand-drawn art.
It's all old school. I think they did eventually start to use a computer to do some stuff. But yeah, it is all old school animation techniques, watercolor backgrounds.
And if they go with voice acting, what are Cuphead and Mugman gonna sound like?
Yeah. Well, I think they could get away with doing like the old school cartoons and the protagonists don't talk and everybody else does. I don't think that would be an issue at all. And if you're curious and you have not seen anything, go back and go to YouTube and look up some like Max Fleischer cartoons, which is sort of the big inspiration behind the visual style because they're incredibly funny. I mean, they do have some where the subject material is maybe a little
that's why I'm not putting
outdated.
it on the show.
Outdated.
I thought you meant something else.
No. But I love cartoons from that era. They were really they were starting to figure out what cartoons were going to be and how they were going to look and the way they were going to sound and the jazzy style music with the voices that sound like they're speaking through a tin can. There's just a charm to animation from that era that I think has been lost over time. So, but I love this game and cannot recommend it enough. So, Cuphead 2, when that comes out, I will be playing that.
Cool.
Should we ever get a sequel to Cuphead?
I mean, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna be the devil comes back to Georgia or something?
Oh, that'd be cool. No, I don't know what is next for the developers after they finish the DLC for this. Whether they're gonna,
it's gonna be interesting whatever they decide.
The game's been super successful. I do know that. They're set for whatever they want to do next. The game is still topping the Switch digital sales sales lists over everything else. It is number one on both the digital only and everything list. So it has been the top seller for a month and a half now or so on the system. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. That is all that I have played this week. So let's take a quick break. We will come back and we'll talk about the news. Okay, Ethan. So, Pokemon Go was a huge sensation. Everybody on the planet played it for some length of time. And then lots of people quit playing it.
I check it every once in a while.
The developers of that game are getting ready to put out their sort of follow up to Pokemon Go with the Harry Potter game that is coming out. I think it's called Wizards Unite,
Sounds about right,
or
yeah.
something like that. But Microsoft does not want to be missing out on that mobile AR action, because
Why would they?
this week they showed off Minecraft Earth, which is Microsoft and Mojang's version of, not their version of Pokemon Go, but their game in that sort of vein, where
An AR Minecraft game that interacts with the real world.
it gets you out into the real world while you're playing Minecraft. It is called Minecraft Earth, and they showed off the first little bits of that game, and it is more of, I think, still proof of concept. This is what we want the game to be. I'm not 100% sure the game is going to end up being exactly what these early looks of it are. But they're wanting you to get out and interact with people in the real world, building things in Minecraft in the real world. So you'll like visit your local park. You'll see a bunch of people all together, and they're all building a structure that you can actually see through your phone in the real world.
And then once they leave, some other people will run over and destroy it right away.
Exactly. No, I don't know that it's going to be quite like that. But they want to get that, that interacting with the real world, getting you walking and out in, interacting with a bunch of different places. It is free to play. You'll be able to download it for both iOS and Android for free. Beta will be starting later this summer, and you'll gather resources by walking around, visiting places in the real world, and as you do, you'll earn resources that you can use to then build objects that you would be able to see. Like you could add towers to the top of your house, which is one thing they showed. And every time you would look at your house through your phone, you would see that, castle tower that you've added to the top of your house, or giant tree houses that you've built into the park, things like that.
I'm just going to build a wall around the park.
There you go.
Confuse people that go there.
Wait, where's the wall? Why isn't the park here?
Yeah, it's an actual wall. I'm not talking AR.
Oh, you're actually just going to build a wall around your park. Okay.
Yep.
So the developers, one of the quotes I saw in a news story about this was that we've covered the entire planet in Minecraft. Every lake is a place you can fish. Every park is a place you can chop down trees. We've actually taken maps of the entire world and converted them to Minecraft. And they have used a project called OpenStreetMap, where they have actually taken maps of the real world and used those to build their maps in Minecraft Earth.
They don't have my permission to use my backyard.
So that's going to be one of those things that we're definitely going to see pop up again. That happened with Pokemon, with people complaining about lots of people around their house, or people trespassing in places they weren't supposed to be, things of that nature. So that's definitely something they're going to have to deal with, and it'll be interesting to see how Microsoft handles that, and what they do when people start complaining about things, and
little kids playing it in the car on a family trip. There's going to be a nether portal in the middle of the road.
That would be fantastic, actually. So yeah, that game, the beta will be out later this summer. I think the full version, or the public version of the game, is supposed to be out later this, if things go well. So I'll be interested in at least seeing how it works. With Pokemon Go, I doubt this is a game I'm going to put very much, if any, time into.
But it might be worth looking into for a little bit.
Yeah, at least for a little bit. And I'm sure my kids will probably be interested in playing around with it. So, Minecraft Earth, that is Microsoft version of Pokemon Go, and that'll be out later this year. Uh, you have a story here about Sega.
Yes. Sega was they're wanting to bring more MMOs over to the West, apparently.
Really? So
Yes.
immediately, everybody started saying this means Fantasy Star Online 2 is coming, right?
Well, at this point, it's like, are they going to announce Fantasy Star Online 3?
Yeah.
Because Fantasy Star Online 2 came out back in July of 2012.
Wow, that game is that old.
Yeah, and I don't think there's been an official cancellation of the English version for the US.
Yeah, but you know it's not coming.
Oh yeah, it's totally not. Uh, anyway, there was an interview that they did. I it doesn't say on my thing right here. Oh, it was for investors, and it covers the various topics across the company's business segments. And this is their regarding their plans for the fiscal year for March 2020. And they just said that basically they're just mentioning that they're wanting to bring more MMOs to the West. It doesn't really say anything. It's just it doesn't say which title specifically. Like the ones everyone's wanting is Fantasy Star Online 2,
Hmm.
but who knows what we'll get really. But
You'll get a Sonic MMO.
that can totally happen with what was Sonic Forces, where you make your own character, man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so careful what you say there, Tony. So maybe we'll be in for a surprise uh, game or two from Sega here in the next year or so.
Yeah, that would be. I would not be, against this idea. So, and then you played Destiny earlier, and
Oh yeah.
there's some news about Destiny nerfing a lot of their items.
Okay, so Destiny's next content update, I've already forgotten the name of it. It's part 3 of the current one that they're on, where it's right now it's Season of the Drifter. Before that, it was Season of the Forge, and this one was the name was kept hidden or something. I don't know, but the name is out there. But people are there's jokes going around like Season of the Nerf right now. So
Yeah.
uh, the big thing is all the big exotic guns people have been working towards getting, like me getting the Thorn that I talked about recently.
Mhm.
Like all the good stuff, they're just gonna drop the power, or not power level, but they're gonna make them less efficient. We'll say that. And a lot of people are not happy with that, and I can understand why. It's like you work trying to earn these things so you can be better than those who don't have it, and now it's like, okay, now I'm worse than the person that doesn't have it. And this is really annoying because there's a weapon called Whisper of the Worm. It's a sniper rifle based off of a gun from the first game, just some minor changes here and there. And that Bungie nerfed that weapon into oblivion, where it's not even worth using anymore.
Yeah.
It's just kind of annoying what they're doing on here, because it's actually a handful of weapons that are currently known, but they're like some of the top guns on there. Anything that's exotic means you can only equip one exotic weapon of type in any slot. So everything else is legendary, rare, or common. So that it's just kind of an insult right there to take
Yeah.
away what's good. Uh, I'm sure I'll complain more about that in coming time. while they turn around and buff their hunters even more.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. And another news story is the Epic Game Store had their first first sale.
And it went amazingly well, didn't it?
Mm. It started out pretty good because it's like the day they announced it was already live or something. It was really strange how all this worked.
Yeah.
But it was one of those where if you make a purchase of $14.99 or more, in other words, if you spend more than $15, Epic will throw in an extra $10 off. So, I mean, that's a big bonus, and you're seeing pre-orders getting. Some pre-orders are even boasting up to a 50% discount, is what I'm
Wow.
seeing here. Some games are up to 75% off. The entire store was just utter chaos with sales,
Yeah.
and it was going good for the people buying games
Mostly.
until they bought, I don't know, probably more than 2 games, maybe 3, 4, maybe 5.
I saw a lot of people saying if you bought more than 5, that's when issues started to arise and your account would get locked because they thought you were. Uh,
Okay, all right. So the problem with the Epic Game Store, it's still in the infancy stage.
mhm.
It's got features that are not present, features that should have been there since day one, like
Like a shopping
a
cart.
shopping cart. Throw all your stuff in there, buy it all at once, be done with it.
That's one thing the Switch eShop absolutely needs at this point, too. They don't have one either.
They need to get on that.
And it's really annoying.
Yes, but Epic Game Store has two-step authentication. You can have two-step authentication to log in on there.
Okay.
And if you're like me, you're probably going to use PayPal, and maybe you have two-step authentication on that as well. So you're looking at least double authentication just to buy a single game.
Yeah.
And
Which,
so,
if you have to do that individually, it becomes a problem.
yes, it becomes a problem right there. And then you do it enough times, Epic's like, well, this obviously isn't you buying games for yourself, and locks you out.
Yeah.
So there's that problem, which I guess they were working to get that under control fairly quickly. I'm sure, especially with people like Pat from Castle Super Beast, formerly Super Best Friends, getting that knowledge out there that he was locked out of his account for that.
Hmm.
Uh, but another problem came up where developers that have their games for sale on Epic Game Store had no idea the sale even existed until it was announced and already
their
happening.
games were on sale.
Yes. And so a number of people were pulling their games down. Some of the pre-orders that were on there, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, for example, that developer pulled the game from the store until the sale is over because they felt it was devaluing their game.
Which, to some extent, I can see.
They're going to honor the ones that did get, the pre-orders that did get through on there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
They're also offering a free game every week during the duration of the sale.
Every week? Nice.
It was a free game every 2 weeks. They've changed that to be a free game every week.
I guess I had to please fans somehow a little bit.
So I mean, it's definitely there's some rocky things happening with the store. It's definitely bad news.
I know there's a story where a couple of devs had increased the price of their games after finding out about the sale. Like, I've already forgotten the name of it, but one dev specifically had plans to already increase their price on their game because it was going to come out of early access soon or something. I forget.
Yeah.
But people were caught on to that and thought that the person was trying to pull some kind of shenanigan here or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, these are features that Valve has proven that need to be there since like over the last decade.
Yeah. Valve's got a lot of time now running a digital store to know the things, start to know the things that work and the things that don't work. Epic hasn't gone through some of that stuff yet, and they haven't learned from the things that Valve did. Um, and my opinion goes back and forth on this whole thing. The Epic Game Store, I am very much in the competition is good for business category. I think more competition is better than less competition in just about every aspect. And they're doing some really interesting things. They're trying right now. They're doing they're just throwing things out there just to see what works. Trying to undercut Valve to get people to come over to their store.
Yeah, and consider that even bad publicity is still publicity.
That's true. But they've got to make sure they keep the developers in the loop of this whole thing and let them know or give them the chance to say, you know what, I don't want my game on sale, or I do want my game on sale.
Or at least give them some incentive to want their game to be on sale, since Epic is so gun-ho about giving them so much more profit for their games being exclusive to the Epic Game Store to begin with.
Yeah.
And then poking fun at Valve, and it's like, Valve. Have you seen Valve say anything to Epic Game Store in any concept of the internet?
I don't know that I have. I don't.
I haven't seen anyone mention that. That's why I'm kind of curious about this, because if Valve's just completely ignoring them, I'm loving that. Because they're like, yeah, I guess it's competition, whatever. They can do their own thing. We're over here doing ours. So,
well, Valve has such a foothold and such a share of the market right now in the PC space.
Oh yeah, I don't even know how many games I have on Steam, but
they don't have to worry a lot yet. They do need to pay attention, and there may be some things that Epic does that Valve could learn from and incorporate in their store.
That works both ways. Yeah,
it's true. It definitely does. That's why I think competition in a space makes for a better consumer experience. The one thing I don't want to see, which is something that happened in the mobile market, is that rush to the bottom, to where we're just trying to undercut each other and just go back and forth, and then all of a sudden people don't want to pay anything for a game on PC because you can get it for free if you wait long enough.
I'm sure maybe Valve's probably thinking, we just gotta wait them out until they're out of Fortnite money. So
that Fortnite money's going to dry up anytime soon.
I just wait for the Battle Royale fallout.
Well, that bubble will burst eventually.
Yeah, and when it does, it's like they're going to be solely relying on either the income coming from the store or trying to steal the idea for the next big thing, and see where it goes from there.
Well, if they don't plan for what comes after that Fortnite bubble, they've got Unreal and they've got some other things that they can do, but
people seeing the example for how Fortnite got popular from PUBG, and that they're going to be a little more aware of their contractual obligations and copyright laws now, I'm sure, when dealing with Epic Games.
Yeah. So we shall see. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not my opinion on Epic Games and the Epic Game Store is not completely set. I do like some of the things they're doing. I don't like some of the things they're doing. That goes for just about anybody, though.
I do like getting free games just by being signed up on their stuff.
Part of it is because I don't play games on PC, so I really don't care too much. But I like to keep up and pay attention a little bit to the things that are going on, because a lot of that stuff could eventually make its way over into the console space. We shall see. But the last bit of news we've got, it's become a thing we do now. Anytime there is a big video game presentation, like a direct state of play, whatever, it's time to talk about it, Ethan.
Indeed,
We're not
it
ju-
is.
we're not just going to talk about it. We are going to watch it and discuss what's going on while the direct is happening. Because Nintendo had a direct this week, kind of surprising. Out of nowhere, they announced a direct for Super Mario Maker. And they're getting what I think they're doing is they're getting that out of the way for E3 because they got something big possibly. And this Mario Maker Direct could have taken up a lot of time at E3, and people would have been okay.
Well, they have the Invitational for E3.
That's true.
Yes.
Um,
Spoiler: there's a Mario Maker 2 Invitational for E3.
yeah, which they did in the past for Super Mario Maker the first time it was out. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and we will queue up this Direct, and if you haven't seen it, you can watch it along with us, and we will be discussing our thoughts about what we're seeing as it happens.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Same as always. 3, 2, 1, and then go. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. It's a me, Mario. Boy, I really hope we don't have to do it like that and just place one little block at a time like that.
You have to do it exactly what they're doing. You have to pull them out of your pocket. There's some AR stuff you got to do with your phone to see it. You got to wear a safety helmet.
You have to have the mobile app.
Actually, I wouldn't mind the mobile app if it's compatible, so that way you can do the touchscreen stuff.
Courses of your dreams. And play courses created by other people from around the globe.
So, nothing new yet.
In other
This is
words,
all...
you can
Oh,
basically have new
kinda
Super
new.
Mario courses to enjoy every day. Now,
That's new.
let's jump right into the basics.
Make.
Lay some groundwork.
You can make
Some
ground.
iconic enemies and objects, like blocks,
Blocks. Coins.
Goombas,
Goombas.
and pipes.
they're doing.
And place them anywhere you like. You decide what goes inside blocks and where warp pipes should take Mario next. And that's just the tip of the goal pole.
You couldn't do that background stuff before, could you?
You can hide
What
enemies,
background stuff?
Ah, don't
stack
worry
them
about it.
up high, and biggin them with a super mushroom.
You couldn't manipulate the background, but I mean...
Not like the background, but the back, like you have the ground that Mario's on and the immediate ground right behind him. Not
Oh yeah,
the-
you could do that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I messed with it, so I don't remember.
You can change the course theme, whether it's underground, underwater, castle, your choice. Even the game style itself can be altered with options like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Did you have red pipes in Maker 1?
No, I think it was only green.
So we've already seen red pipes, and we also saw little pipes on the tank thing from that early stuff.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm wondering what that means. If that's just a cosmetic thing, or if that means Mini Mario is going to be a thing.
That'd be really cool if it was.
Oh, I agree. Those parachutes are new too. I don't remember those.
Slopes, the probably most asked for thing on here.
Oh, I think absolutely.
Gentler slopes are an option too.
Two kinds of slopes.
Yeah, but can you do the slope up where you ramp off of it?
That's a good question. I really want to see if the Angry Sun will be in the other versions of the game and how he'll look. Because I mean, there were some things that were.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in there because the other thing was seen in the new soups.
That's cool. I like these colored block things.
Yeah, that adds like a whole new layer of gameplay. Switching tracks, that's amazing.
Yes.
Seesaws tilt left to right under
Those were things I wanted in Super Mario when I was making Super Mario World courses.
Tilt-centric courses like this one.
Should really have you look into that PC version of that stuff.
Build momentum.
You have your own music and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Use these to send himself flying.
Those are new. I don't think those have ever been in a Mario game before.
No, they haven't.
You can freely set the water level. Maybe half the course
I like
should
this
be
too. This is
underwater.
really nice.
Or maybe the water level should change over time? You can select from 3 different speeds. And water isn't the only thing you can flood a course with.
Of course not. You have to
Lava.
be able to flood it with lava.
This side scroller is truly customizable.
Oh, I
right
really
down
like
to the
this.
Scrolling itself. In a
You can
custom
control
scroll
the
course,
direction
you
of
can
the
decide
scrolling
where you
now.
want the scroll to start. Adjust its trajectory.
It's gonna be fun to play
and set
with.
the speed at each point. The result is nice and smooth while you're playing.
'Cause, I mean, this is a thing they've done in Mario games for a long time, and those are some Those were always some interesting levels.
You can now create
Vertical
multiple
levels.
sub-areas.
Yeah.
Of course, the auto scroll feature operates vertically in here. To hide an area from view and prevent scrolling from revealing it,
This is
create a
something
solid line
I
of
look
blocks
forward to
perpendicular
seeing
to the
use
scroll
of.
direction.
Especially
You
for
could do that in the old game. It was just a little bit. It was tedious to do.
Bonsai
Well, the
blocks
camera would
like it's
follow,
coming
and
from
it was just
Mario,
really annoying to
because
deal
it
with.
is. You can select
But you
from
could
the 4
you could
cardinal
build a room
directions.
still.
The red
Yeah.
ones have a homing function.
And there's the people that like building those
Even lava doesn't phase the dry
What?
bone shell.
the turtle shell thing, man.
Play dead for a sec, and you'll be temporarily invincible.
It's like your boot it's like the boot right here and the Tanuki suit from 3.
Find hard to reach
Yeah.
areas and tempt players.
Multi.
I was saying something, I forgot it.
Size coins.
Coin. Mario may just be strolling along when a sudden sound effect plays. There are a bunch in Super Mario Maker 2. Stick one on an enemy.
Those are something that,
Perhaps go with something
if you
more
overuse sound effects, it can get really annoying.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of
Pass a
sound
Joy-Con
effects
controller
in
to a
these
friend,
games.
and you can create a course
Co-op
together on a single
building?
screen.
Yes.
Little creative collaboration goes a long way.
Did you notice though that co-op building you could
Collect
only
50
use
coins.
Joy-Cons on their side? You couldn't use
All the
Pro
dry
controllers for
ones.
that.
Reach the goal as Super Mario.
Well, maybe that was the only option they had
You
for
can set
showing. They didn't
conditions, and there are
have
a
the,
wide range
or they
to
didn't feel
choose
like
from.
showing off the other thing yet.
I like that the
From
alternate
items
goals
to
for
allies
things.
to items,
Yeah,
the
that's-
Twister will suck up anything.
That's gonna make it better than
Unsuspecting
just
passers-by will
get to
fall
the
victim
end.
to
It's
obstacle. Hey,
okay.
there
Get
goes
100
the
one-ups.
diagonal too.
Get 100 coins. Whatever.
Red
Yeah.
Yoshi's brief
Red
fire.
Yoshi.
Harry
And he just
shoots
spits
slowly
fire.
at a falling
I want
spear
Blue
and
Yoshi.
attached
I want to
it.
be able to
Watch
fly.
out for Boom Boom. The
Boom
mad
Boom's-
lad will chase after
No one ever
you,
wants
swinging his
Yellow
arms and
Yoshi.
legs.
Feel sorry for him.
I don't remember what Yellow Yoshi
And there's
did.
still more
Stomp.
to discover.
Mm.
If you're not sure how to use something, try out story
Look at Toad
mode.
in her little hat.
In story mode,
Story
Mario
mode.
sets out to help rebuild Princess Peach's castle, and to do so, he'll face an entire game's worth
It's
of
so weird that
courses
she's
in
got
search
the-
of coins.
The
Talk to
mushroom
taskmaster
ponytail
to
thing.
accept a job from the bulletin board and play the associated course. If Mario can clear
'Cause
the
that's like
course,
her
he'll earn
head.
coins as a reward. Hey, rebuilding a castle ain't cheap. There are more than 100 original courses crafted by Nintendo in story mode, showcasing a variety of tools, course
Yeah, you
cards,
know I'm gonna
and
play all
features.
this.
As you play, you'll see
Side
examples of
moving
expert course
thwomps.
design. As the castle's reconstruction progresses, Mario will be able to reach more areas in and around the construction site. The characters you meet in these new areas may even offer up additional jobs.
Undo Dog, he is a villain.
Do you notice that 3D Mario 1 block?
New course themes. Desert.
Huh.
That's nice.
That's a really good looking desert stage for Mario 1.
Mm-hmm.
Forest.
I don't like that forest music.
And sky.
Sounded more like something that belonged in a Zelda
Written
game.
by veteran Super Mario
I like that they're giving us
Koji
new
Kondo.
stage types.
Who else could capture the classic sound of the Super Mario series?
Yeah,
Koji
We've
Kondo.
also got a new course part that makes these course themes even more fun. The moon.
it's
What?
the moon.
Tap this
That would
icon
give you
and
3
every
1-ups
day
in the
becomes
game.
night. If you hit the angry sun, Mario will lose a life. But if you hit the moon, you'll wipe out a screen full of enemies.
What?
At night, expect a surprise or two, depending on
I
the
love the
theme.
chaos this is
In
all
the ground
showing.
theme,
Yeah.
Goombas will float.
See, 3D moon.
The
Or not 3D, it was
underground
New
will
Soup's
turn
moon.
Upside
Yeah.
down. In a ghost house, the lights will dim.
This is gonna make for some really cool levels
And in
too.
the sky, gravity
Low
itself
gravity?
will be reduced. The desert will get hit by a sandstorm. while the terrain of the snow theme will become really slippery. And the
They're adding a
courses usually
ton of
have
stuff to this game.
Poison
as they
instead of
come.
lava.
Rumor has it that
Nice.
some items will even
The purple
transform
mushroom.
into something else come nightfall. Once you've unlocked the night versions of themes, you don't have to place the moon course part to use them.
Oh, you have to unlock that so you can just do it without having to place the
Mario
moon.
3D World game
Yeah.
style is
Extra
very
game
cool.
styles.
The way this game
And
style
it says
works is
styles, and
really
there's an
different
empty
from the
spot,
other
so you know
game
there's at
styles.
least one
What you're
more.
working on will clear if
Which
you
opens it up for
because there are things you can do here that you can't do in
most
your
likely going to be
style.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
That would be my guess.
Make
I
Super
want Paper
3D
Mario.
World without Cat Mario.
Super Paper Mario, right?
Climbing,
Well, yeah, that's what it would be, like Super Paper Mario.
scratching.
But I want that visual style for this game. I think that would be amazing.
It would be interesting. But it also opens it up for Game Boy.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of neat to see.
Maybe Mario Galaxy? I don't know how you do side-scrolling Mario Galaxy, though.
I don't know. I kind of wish they would include the pipe bending thing like this in the just regular stuff.
Yeah, because none of this
And
stuff.
do you notice that this looks different compared to just New Super Mario Brothers mode?
What do you mean?
Oh, like he doesn't wear the hat, and it's
Yeah.
like slightly better looking all around, even the enemies in this mode or style.
Well, I mean, it would make some sense, because 3D World is a better-looking game than the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah, but for the
kinda
most
cool.
part, it's like wouldn't they use the same assets, right?
No, they didn't.
No, I said wouldn't they use it for like you would have thought they would have used it for this
Mm.
Make sure to carefully time those jumps.
because it's like going from like the different Mario styles to modern Mario.
The blue one won't move until
Ooh,
you
Mario
step on
Odyssey
it.
mode.
The mushroom trampoline yields
get to throw a hat.
satisfying bounce. The piranha creeper will extend wherever you draw.
Run,
Watch
Mario.
out for its spiky stem.
Blue pipe.
Skip Squeaks like to try and match Mario's jumps. Sometimes you can use that to your advantage.
Spiky Skip Squeaks.
Take
You could
this
probably use them to
sweet
make your
ride for a
own-
spin to really tear through the course.
Your own.
Just try not to
I'm
crash it.
distracted by the go kart.
Drive safely
I'm
now.
very interested in seeing what Mario Kart levels are going to look like.
Beware the Lord of Lava, Charbard. This monster's
That's gonna be a
obsessed
fun
with
addition to the
gobbling up
game.
Mario. Pom Pom smoke bombs onto the scene.
Pom
This man
Pom.
just mastered the art of a doppelganger. Which one's the real one?
The one with the
The
pink
Bonsai
star.
Bull from Super Mario 3D World
The
can
one they're
actually
purposely
fight
not
through the
attacking.
screen. It's so powerful, it can break through walls. Many other familiar faces from
Man, this
Super
Mario
3D
World
will
stuff is
liven
going
up
to add
this
some
game style as
really
well.
cool mechanics to the game.
Indeed. Meowser.
Course World is an online hub where players from around the world can share their carefully crafted courses.
Hopefully it's a little easier to do than in the first game.
Or new courses. Or
Well,
search
notice they have
and
tags
download.
on there now. In
Yeah, you
regions
can-
and difficulty
Search by
listings.
tags like puzzle solving.
Oh man, look at all those colored
And maybe
pipes.
find some auto scroll courses.
Man, I can't wait to play this
Play
game.
a course, and you can leave a comment if they're
Oh,
enabled.
did you notice that boo comment ability on there?
Mm-mm. What is?
Boo or like?
you can dislike courses now. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you download a course, you can
That's gonna be
play it
kind of bad
anytime.
if someone's like, oh, I don't like this person. I'm gonna go and make a ton of new accounts and just downvote them.
In Course World,
Yeah, it does have the potential to be abused, but
If other
And people
players
will
download
abuse it.
courses, you'll earn maker points. But on top of being successful, why not be stylish? Customize your look with things like shirts and hats that you unlock like
Oh no, it's a 3DS all over again.
Test your skills by trying to clear as many courses as possible before you get a game over. Select a difficulty, and courses will be queued up at
How come you don't get to play as that Mario? What's with those Goombas that were right there?
Secure some truly impressive
were those not the
scores.
Goombas from
They were like
Mario World?
they were like the big round-headed
On
Goombas.
top of that,
Yeah, those
there's
are
a
from
new mode in
3D
Super Mario
World.
Maker 2 that'll let you play together with others.
I don't remember what they're called.
Okay.
In Course World, you can enjoy multiplayer
Oh,
with
man.
other players from around the world.
That's where the utter chaos comes in.
In
And they haven't even
multiplayer
talked
versus mode, up to 4 players face off in a
Amiibo
side-scrolling
support
shooter.
yet, have they?
Each player
No, they
plays
haven't
as a
mentioned
different
anything.
character. Then
I
they
wonder
face
if
each other in a randomly
I
selected
can't imagine
course.
they would get rid of the amiibo costumes.
The player who clears the course first wins. Depending on your win-loss ratio,
She
your
leveled
versus
up to rank
rating will
C.
change.
Good job.
Playing it safe is no way to win in a white-knuckle course like this one.
No, you gotta
Watch
go.
the others eat your dust as you escape an extreme obstacle. But when
Mario
the boss comes
wins.
around, you may want to put your differences aside. Maybe you can get away with sitting back and stealing all the credit at the end.
Oh,
During
don't do
multiplayer,
that.
there are
Don't be a
strategies
jerk.
to consider that would never come up during solo play.
Mario Maker 2.
In multiplayer
Friendship
co-op mode,
Ender
on the other
2.
hand, all
Yep.
players must work together to
Oh, look
complete
at those
the course.
cat sprites or the raccoon
If a
sprites for the
single player
toads.
finishes it,
Yep.
everyone's a winner. If up to 4
They were
players
very
are hanging
colorful.
out together and each has a Nintendo Switch system and the Super Mario Maker 2 game, one can set up a virtual room for the others to join via nearby play. Only the player who makes the room needs a persistent internet connection for everyone to play.
That is so
You won't
weird.
be rated in this mode, but you can check out the standings.
4
By the
people can
way,
play
we
together,
designed
but
a course with
3
versus
people
play
link to
in mind.
one
Consider
person,
using
and
the
then that person's got to
multiplayer
link to the
versus tab.
internet.
It's a great way
Mhm.
to help players who love to battle it out find what you've made.
Man, right after the first game was out, I was like, I don't know how they make this game better, but they have seriously made Mario Maker
New
better
challenges.
with this. Like, this is not a tiny update for a Switch port. This is a
No.
lot of new
Super
content.
Mario Maker 2 will
You have to
come
wonder
out
what they're
on
keeping
June
out of there still.
28th.
60
If you're
bucks.
interested in pre-purchasing Super Mario
That's
Maker
not
2,
surprising.
we've got a couple promotions for you to
It comes
consider.
out
First, there's the Super Mario
the end of
Maker
June.
2 plus
Yeah, the
Nintendo
28th
Switch
of
Online
June.
Bundle, which is available as both a physical and digital release and includes a 12-month
That gives you
digital
$10 off
membership for
Nintendo Switch Online if you
Online.
haven't
If you're already a Nintendo
bought a
Switch Online
membership
member,
yet.
these 12 months will stack on your current membership.
When's that,
Second, if you
Yeah,
have a
forget
paid Nintendo Switch Online membership,
I'll ask
there's
later.
a way to pre-purchase Super Mario Maker 2 at a discount that's exclusive to members. The Nintendo Switch
I think this is a
Game
good
Voucher
deal.
Special offer. Paid Nintendo Switch Online members can buy a pair of Nintendo Switch game vouchers for just $99.99. Each voucher can be redeemed for an eligible digital game. Choose from some of your favorite Nintendo Switch titles. For example, redeem one voucher to pre-purchase Super Mario Maker 2 and use the other to download Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and you save $19.99.
So you basically you buy a voucher for $100 and you save $10 off of 2 different games.
Yeah.
So, which I think is a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
For more information
And
about
you
this
can have up to 8 vouchers on your account at a time. I did see that.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you could spend $800
or
I guess $400.
400, yeah, I was about to say.
To get 8 vouchers. And then you can also, for people that are curious, you could use eShop cards to add the money to your account. So if you can find an eShop card on sale for like $40 for a $50 card, you could buy 2 of those for $80. Use those to buy the vouchers on the eShop, which gives you an additional $20 off. So you're getting 2 games for $40 each instead of 2 games for $60 each. So there are ways to manipulate that and save a little bit more money, because Mario Maker comes out the end of June and Fire Emblem comes out the end of July. So I will probably pick up these vouchers. And if you buy the vouchers, I think you get 500 gold coins for that. And I don't know if that stacks on top. So of the game. So like if you buy the voucher and you get 500, then when you download, you use that credit to buy a game, do you get the additional 300 something gold coins for that? I'm assuming that is the case, but I don't know. Because I think a $60 game gives you 300 gold coins. And then this voucher gives you an additional 500.
So voucher, then 2 games with it, so that's, what, like 1,100?
Yeah, it's $11. If that is how it works. So, I mean, it basically saves you $11 off of your next purchase. if you want to use that, or you can be like Shannon and hoard all your coins and never spend them. So, but yeah, that is I was interested and was probably going to pick up Mario Maker 2 before this, but this is a huge update to that game. So that's going to be really nice.
I look forward to that one coming out because I'm kind of interested in seeing what we don't know about it already.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be a bunch of stuff that even they haven't shown off yet. I know there's going to be other game styles. If there wasn't, that Mario 3D World thing would have been centered in the middle of that section.
Mm-hmm. Or it just would have been called a different style on there and listed with the others, but it's like independent still. Which it is independent, but...
And Mario 2 is such a different game from the other Mario games that I could see that being one of those that they put in that additional style. Because if you pick that, like if you pick the 3D World stuff, it says when you first start it, you're getting ready to use one of these different game styles. It's not compatible, basically, with the other ones, so we're erasing everything you've done so far.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that they can include Super Mario Land.
Yeah.
They do one or two. They could even go with Yoshi's Island.
They could.
I mean, all that seems really unlikely, but if they did, I mean, that's the opportunity right there.
See, I don't know that it does. I think with the size of update that this game looks like it's going to be, Yoshi's Island would be an incredible entry, and that would completely change the way you play. So you'd have to do a different game style with that.
Yoshi's Island and Mario 2 both use a bunch of Shy Guys. Were Shy Guys in the Mario Maker 1? I don't think they were.
I don't remember.
I didn't see them in this one either.
Well, we shall see. The game comes out in a little over a month. So.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we released the styles as DLC that you had to pay for.
I could see something like that. Like this being
maybe $5 to $10 per edition. I could see them doing that easily.
This could become a Mario Maker platform, and they just over time release additional game types that get added to the game. I could see something like that. So, well, I guess we might see a little bit more at E3. I don't know. I think they did this now to get this out of the way for E3. So that they didn't spend 15 minutes in the E3 Direct talking about this game.
They did that also so they could announce the Invitational and get more people invited. I think Grand Pooh Bear, he was asking people to vote for him or mention him so he gets invited because apparently he didn't get invited or something.
Yeah. Well, that is about 3 weeks away at this point. So. We'll find out at E3. But that's it for the news. So let's move on to listener feedback. And we got one from Lang this week via Facebook, who wants to know if Procedurally Generated got invited to cover any one game show, what show would you like to cover? And he gave examples: TGS, the Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, which is in Germany, or E3.
Well, I don't think we really have the manpower to do that.
No, I don't know that we do. I'd love to go. Any of them, E3, TGS, Gamescom. Gamescom would be one I'd really like to go to because I think that one's been growing a lot over the years, and that's in Germany, and I'd really love to go to Germany. I'd really like to go to Japan, so TGS would be another one I'd like to cover. I think it would be much more realistic to be able to cover one of the ones in the States. And I think for us, something like PAX South would be one that we could both easily get to because it's in Texas.
Yeah, definitely that. I don't know, maybe GDC would be a choice on there as well. Game Developer Conference.
Yeah, there's not a ton of stuff that comes out of that. That's really more for developers than it is for the public.
Well, then it should be easier to cover. Hmm. I mean, those are all really good choices. I wouldn't mind any of those. PAX East would be a fun one to do if we, like I said, if we had the manpower to do it.
Yeah.
Or I said PAX East, PAX South. Gosh.
PAX South, I think.
Whichever PAX that's down closer to us.
The one that's in Austin.
Even RTX, I wouldn't mind doing that. Rooster Teeth Expo.
Yeah.
That's also in Austin.
So the answer is any of them. Really.
Heck, I would settle for Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
I would happily do that.
Unfortunately, our budget for that kind of things right now is 0, so getting to any of them would be difficult as a group. But I'd love to be able to go and cover something, even just once.
It would be a lot of fun.
It would. But that will be the show for this week. So thank you, Ethan, for being on the show.
Thank you, Tony, for being on the show.
You're quite welcome, sir. If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.